Hey, Craig, let's get into some coffee talk.
Hey, I love it. I love doing some coffee talk.
Well, talk about what?
Dogs, daughters, whatever. It's coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
Hey, Craig, this year I got some crazy growth goals for my agency, and actually I've been talking to a few other agents. They got some crazy growth goals. So can you tell me a little bit about what you're doing that's just crushing it in your agency right now?
Yeah, well, we're doing a lot of internet data leads through a company called EverQuote, and they're actually one of our sponsors.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, part of the Accelerated Growth Program, which includes having your own consultant that's going to go over your results, and it's positioned to make those leads cost less so that you have lower acquisition costs. It makes it totally doable.
Awesome. And so what has been your favorite parts about it so far?
I like the visibility into the results, and being able to compare what the numbers that they get on their side with the numbers that I get on my side, and seeing that they mesh up. So we know that the data is correct, and that we're actually in a cost per policy or cost per sale that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah,
Cool.
They make it real easy to track. And you know what? Guess what? They gave us a deal to offer to all of the insurance dudes and dudettes out there.
Oh, I got to know about this.
Yeah, all you need to do is go to go.everquote.com/insurance dudes. That's go.everquote.com/insurance dudes.
And they give all the insurance dudes out there a killer price on this. So I'm signing up. Well, hello there, Mr. Craig.
Hey, Mr. Jason. Look,
Where's your coffee?
Where's your coffee?
There we go.
It's a coffee talk. So, Mr. Craig,
Mr.
we were
Jason.
talking earlier.
Way earlier.
Way earlier on a webinar about
5.5 hours ago.
how important it is to not have your A players doing B player and C player activities, right?
Yeah, right. Or you,
We were
the head coach, doing those activities.
Right. And it's being able to create a work environment where those A players are, or you are doing the tasks that are the most valuable for you instead of all the other tasks.
Oh,
And it starts from the bottom, right?
Yeah, starts from the bottom or from the top, whichever way you want to start. But yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
let's analyze it from the bottom.
From the bottom. So we buy leads, and our goal is to sell, right?
Yeah.
Buy leads, sell them. But
Right.
from the bottom, what do we start with?
You get them over here. The lead comes
Yes.
in. It comes into a management system,
Yes.
right? And then it has to call somebody. So this person who has raised their hand and said, "I want a quote, Mr. Jason," right?
Yes.
Then the phone rings.
And who picks up?
Well, on the first line, this could go either way. Right. And I've done it both ways. You've also done it both ways, I believe, which is either a telemarketer or a producer picks it up on that first contact.
Right. But how many calls does it take to actually get someone to answer that phone?
I could look at real-time statistics. You want to know?
Sure.
Okay.
And I know it's not that much.
8 to 15%. 15 on a really good day, 8% on typical day.
That's right. And I know we're both doing 6 calls, 7 calls for that first day.
Sure.
So that means each person is getting called 6 to 7 times and only 15% pick up. So
today, here you go. Here's today. Leads generated today. Okay.
okay.
You ready?
I'm
So
ready.
these are leads that came in today, and the statistics on those leads as of today.
Okay.
7% with one company, 6.82% with another company, and 7.1% with another company. Seems pretty consistent.
Those are your contacts?
That's my contacts.
I got 12% for day one so far.
Man, what did you do over there, Mr. Jason?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. But the point is this, is
What is
that's
that?
a lot of dials, man.
lots.
So do you think like the barrier to entry to become an agent, I mean, you got to take a test. You have to
well, first you have
get to know all the systems.
you have to make it through your hiring funnel. But let's take it back a second, right? You have to
Right.
be one. You have to be the one of the 60 that entered that hiring pipeline, and then be the chosen one that was better and or showed up between all the other 60.
Right, which Craig's referring to our 60-21 hiring process, where it takes 60 people
Hmm.
to book an appointment to actually get 20 people to come in, and then usually 1 out of 20 we hire.
There you go.
Which is, I mean, that's a lot, man.
Yeah.
And then you train them. They learn. They take the test. You train them and all this stuff. The easiest way to lose someone is having them do 400 to 600 dials a day. We've
All
done
day,
it
every day.
It's just too much. I mean, I think
Yeah.
it's too much.
It is. I mean, and you know what shows that it's too much? If you can get somebody that'll do it for much, much less and doesn't have the same barriers to entry in order to do
Yep.
this, then why would you waste an asset and depreciate that asset by making them do something they absolutely don't want to do
Right.
instead of the thing that they should be doing?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So
So that's where the telemarketers come in, and that helps subdivide tasks by skill level. And then those telemarketers could always become agents if you want, but you got to have somebody on the front lines.
yeah.
Then the agent. Maybe you get granular and you have like your A closers and you have them taking on certain leads or something like that. But we have it as simple as, telemarketer, agent, to keep those agents around, make them happy.
I remember in the olden days, 6 months ago, when I'd look at the number of dials that the agents, and when I say agents, I mean the producers. Some worlds they call it LSPs, other worlds they call it producers, other worlds reps, whatever. But your reps' best use of their time is what, Mr. Jason?
The agents
Well,
closing, talking to people. They just need to be
people.
talking to people.
Right.
If they're not talking to people and they're just pressing a button and dialing numbers, it's an extreme waste of talent.
Right. Yeah.
So we got to keep them talking.
You don't have your all-star running back on the punt return team.
Right.
That's a football reference, Mr. Jason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that
Gotcha.
it wasn't skateboarding. I'm sorry.
I thought you meant like a pint, like at the.
Oh boy. What are you...
Yeah, but it's just a little food for thought, and I think it's really important to subdivide when you start building the agency, subdivide tasks, and really making sure that we don't expect everybody to do it all, because then you can't figure out ways to make it better. You can't figure out, you can't quantify a lot of stuff. If it's like, okay, you do it all, you take payments, you write policies, you do every single thing possible in the agency. How do you quantify progress?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
How do you quantify it?
I don't know. How do you judge? How do you rate? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's probably a lot of agents that have a good answer for me.
Well,
I just don't get it.
Well, progress. Yeah. How do you? And we know that case in point the sun's so bright that way. Case in point, in the same way with when you're buying leads, you can't expect the result today. You expect the result, over the course of the next 60 days, right? And these little 60-day movers from the one that today, it's the same thing.
Yep.
If they're not doing, if the telemarketers aren't making X number of dials and the producers aren't on the phone for 4 hours, I think 4 hours is a solid talk time, right? Hour and a half is not a solid talk time. Hour and a half is not enough. By any means.
Not an 8-hour day.
No, they need 4 hours. If they do an hour and a half, that's 1/3 of the amount of activity they should be doing, right? Basically, because
Right.
4. So if they're doing 1/3, it takes them 3 days to get the same amount of eventual results as they would if they did 4 hours in one day.
Right.
I mean, it's just a numbers game, and if they're not closing when they're on the phone for 4 hours, well, that's on you because we need to train them. You brought them on; they need to be trained. They need to understand how to sell, right? Understand the psychology of sales. So that's on you, and also if they're not if they're not on the phone for 4 hours, then what are they doing?
Right.
I just pulled up mine. Today's a little bit of a lazy day, right? There's an hour. Well, some of them are here for 2.5 more hours, but everybody's hovering around 2 hours right now. So what I'm curious about, I have a couple people at 3, so they're right. They're right on pace at 3 hours. But what are the other ones that are at 2 hours? What's the situation? So tomorrow morning, it's having a talk at the meeting. What's going on? What happened yesterday? Because at the same time, the sales are a little light today. And it all works off of that activity.
Got to have it.
Yeah.
Got to have the numbers.
Yeah. And, we talk about these same things a lot. And then at my agency, I talk about these same things a lot. But the only way to continue to get the consistency, the only way to lead them to the place they need to be is to talk about it constantly.
Right. You have to be consistent with talking about it.
And that
to get the consistency.
Yeah, that drops off, it can drop off. Just like the gym.
Why is it so hard for us to be consistent? Like none of this stuff is very hard. And honestly, the winners are the ones that can stay consistent at it. Why is consistency so hard?
Shiny object syndrome, FOMO over for something else.
FOMO.
Other things take priority. If there's one thing I've noticed, and I'm also terrible at it too, is calendar management. Agents agents I don't even think that a lot of agents realize or understand that there's a calendar there that they can utilize. A calendar's
right.
huge. If I don't put it on the calendar, I'm freaking lost. And then sometimes I don't look at it, and
then you're lost.
then totally lost. I'm like, what was I supposed to do? Oh yeah, look at the calendar. I need to set up an event for looking at the calendar. Or a reminder. But it's little things, right? If you don't get used to it, or if you don't create the habit, then you're not going to do it. And what's the old saying? 21 days to make the habit, 3 days to break it.
Yeah, it's definitely takes 1 day to break a habit. Like, really,
I'm not going to do it today.
Yeah.
Like Jamie Alderton jumping in the ocean every day, no matter what the temperature is in England. Do you think does he want to jump in the ocean?
No, he said that he hates it.
He hates it. But he sets himself up for success because he knows if he doesn't do it, he won't do it. Right. The moment he doesn't jump in it, the streak is over. It's done.
Right. Yep.
Like you or I, if we go to the bar and we do a shot of tequila, it's over. Sobriety has just now ended. Right. And so you have to keep that habit. You have to be intentional about the things that you're doing in order to foster it. I don't know.
Totally. No. It's true. And it's funny what's working for me. Like one area is I'm trying to get my back better. Cause again, when you you're focused on one thing and it's so easy to let other things go. Last year I let my back go because I have old injuries from the old bartending days. But
Moving kegs.
yeah. And then last year I built some cubicles. I don't know why.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Was that a good use of your time?
100%. No, that was the stupidest thing. And I bought them from China too to save money, and that ended up being a fiasco with the whole I thought it would be kind of funny too, like oh, I'm gonna figure all this out. It ended up being a nightmare. Worst decision ever. But they dropped a pallet off downstairs outside my office and said, well, it's just me, I don't bring it in. Just thousands of pounds, a pallet saran wrap down. So we had to bring it in the office
and then build them. And
it was incredible.
I tried to build those before, and it is a nightmare.
Oh, dude, it was.
And you could have paid two guys $10 an hour each to put that thing together.
Yeah,
and they're good at it. It would have cost you $200, and they're done.
Right. Yeah. So my back over the last year, and then having Evie, our fourth, and holding the kids, and just like all that, I let my back go to the point where I could barely walk. And then, so I've been going to physical therapy for the last, 5 months, but I have to do these exercises in the morning and at night. Like I have to do them every single day. Yeah. And part of it is doing like push-ups too, for my core and all this stuff. So what I've done with that, and I've been very consistent with it, but even on the days when I have no time, I'll bang out like just whatever I can do, even if it's just a tiny bit of time, so that the consistency is there, so that I don't lose the habit. And so let's say like push-ups, I'll just do as many as I can do, one set, done. Like, I do these 7-way hips exercises. It's
sounds cute.
It is cute. But I do it every day. And if anything, I just decrease the number of them, but I have to do them every day because it's so important. And I end up doing more than I thought I was going to do, when I started. But honestly, if I just didn't do it that one day, it would be 10 times easier to not do it the next day.
Oh, and then you're never going to do it again. Yeah.
Because we always have that all in or all out mentality. Yeah. So I don't know how we got to this point with consistency and habits, but gosh, just a couple rambling insurance dudes.
Dude, you're rambling. Or my rambling.
Rambling. Right?
Yeah, a little Zeppelin for you.
All right.
Well,
I think we need to get
I'll call that a coffee talk.
Coffee talk. A little one.
Little one. Move the needle, you little beetle. What is that one called? There's a coffee talk about.
Don't deedle, move the needle like a raging beetle. Something like that.
I mean, it has the most listens of any coffee talk the whole time.
Coffee talk. Is it because of the name? Because
it's pretty
Craig
good.
And I love writing some of the names of these.
Yes.
We're dying laughing.
Why don't we call this that same title number 2 and see if we move the needle? Let's test it.
Ooh, okay. That's fun.
I challenge you to call this that. I think it's done.
All right, buddy.
Well,
peace out.
Peace out. Jason, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up one of our sponsors, EverQuote.
Oh, tell me a little bit about them.
Well, I've been using them for a couple months, and I'll tell you that the results are delightful. It's been now a couple months, and over time, my cost per sale has dropped every single week.
That is awesome. Tell me, so you're on a specific program with them?
Yeah, it's called the Accelerated Growth Program, and this bad boy gets you a better deal on those leads, so way less expensive, and you get a consultant that's going to actually go over your results to make sure you're tracking properly. And so you've been doing that for the last couple of months and consulting with them? Yeah, and I see everybody complain about leads and this and that, and it's like, look, if you don't have a process to track and measure your results, then I can totally get it. You don't even know what your results are, right?
And you asked them to give all the insurance dudes and dudettes out there a killer deal on this, and they came through, didn't they?
They came through, and I know you're going to take advantage of it, but if they go to go.everquote.com/insurance dudes, that's go.everquote.com/insurance dudes, then guess what?
What?
Deal City.
I'm there.
Do it.
Hey, you've got to check out the Insurance Dudes Inner Circle coming soon, where you get extended interviews as well as live coffee talks in our private Facebook group. Join the mailing list today at theinsurancedudespodcast.com. Hey, thanks for checking out the Insurance Dudes. Hey, please subscribe. We got some really great stuff coming out.